And joining me now for more is Ohio Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, a member of the House Financial Services Committee. Congresswoman, it's good to see you this morning as well. We know you're going to be attending the convention in Chicago and you're hosting the Ohio delegation. What are you most looking forward to in the week ahead?
Well, Katie, first of all, thank you for having me. I am so excited about going to Chicago. I leave shortly for it. I'm excited because I agree with Jamie Harrison. It's going to be like a family reunion. We have a lot to celebrate. We're going to have a lot of diversity, talking to everyday American people. We will fill up the United Center and we will celebrate all of the victories that Vice President Kamala Harris has been a part of. We'll be talking directly to women. We will be talking to those who are in our fight for justice and for continuing to have health care and education and jobs. We've done so much, but it will be full of D for Democrat, but also for delivery, because Kamala Harris certainly has delivered.
Your state is home to Donald Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance. I really wanted to get your thoughts on how Vance being named as the VP pick for Donald Trump has impacted the race. And could your state actually be in play this November?
Well, I'm not ruling out Ohio. When we look at where our Senator Sherrod Brown is, he's gained momentum in the last couple of weeks with our change and being reinvigorated. We have 3 frontline members in the House. They're all holding their own. We're excited. When you think about the change that we have now, we have young people, we have more senior people, we even have Republicans who are on the record saying that they're going to support the Harris-Walz ticket. And let me just tell you, J.D. Vance is not good for Ohio. He's not good for America. He doesn't fight for the everyday people. He's actually more than weird. He's a joke. When you think about how he has gotten everything from his jobs to even getting this position, he was walked in the door by a mega Republican tech billionaire. So things have been handed for him. Unlike Kamala Harris, who's had to fight for things all her life. She went to an HBC university. She became, just think about it, a prosecutor, attorney general in the largest state in our nation. She's a fighter and she fights for people. J.D. Vance has had things handed to him. Probably if there's a good thing that Trump did, it was to pick a loser like J.D. Vance to be his running partner.
So you wrote an amazing piece for Ebony on democracy, where you said, quote, "We are not simply voting for our next president this year. Voting rights, women's rights, educational rights, and more key freedoms are all on the ballot this season." I mean, your article does focus on Black Americans, but really, I felt like you're also speaking to a more important universal message for all voters that go into that ballot, to the ballot box in November.
Absolutely. While it focused on Black Americans, the story is true for all Americans. When they go in there, democracy is on the line. And let me just tell you something else that I did around the same time. As I was talking to a national reporter, I reminded them that there was going to be a Sunday call. And I said there would be 18,000. When questioned, I said, well, maybe 20 or 30,000 Black women on that call. But let me tell you what that jump started. White women, brown women, white dudes for Kamala Harris, even Republicans for Kamala Harris. So the message is the same. We are all fighting for our democracy. And especially when you talk about women across the board, we're fighting for control of our own bodies, for reproductive rights. We're fighting for educational rights for all of our children. I stand with the people because we put people over politics. And that's a strong message that you're going to continue to hear from Democrats, and especially for our Vice President Kamala Harris, soon to be our presidential nominee.
You know, one of the biggest valid criticisms of Donald Trump has always been a lack of policy, real policy, substance from him. We saw actually on Friday, though, from Vice President Kamala Harris, an economic plan that includes stopping corporate price gouging, tackling the cost of housing and medicine, and bringing back and expanding the child tax credit. I mean, you've been around to be able to see what real policies can accomplish. Your thoughts on this economic plan?
Oh, I think her economic plan speaks to everyday people. It speaks to all Americans, because when you think of it, it's not just a plan that she's talking about. It's a plan that she's been a part of leading. I had the opportunity to be chair of the Congressional Black Caucus when we jump-started many of these things. And now we're having an anniversary, whether it is the Jobs and Chips Act, whether it is the American Rescue Plan, the Inflation Reduction Plan, and let's not forget about the infrastructure. $1.2+ trillion we put into it to go across this nation. And Kamala Harris's fingerprints were all over that. She's now bringing back those things, continuing those things. The child tax credit took more than 50% of our children out of poverty. This is what a president does. And as our presidential candidate, when we announce it on Thursday, I am so comfortable that she will not only implement this plan, but she will do it and more.